Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these toes. Hi.
And welcome back to your boy SeanDavieWay. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way in. Tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, we will get into Adina Howard. Adina Howard was a great artist from back in the day. She flooded the streets with great music, and then she kind of just went away. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Adina's beginning, her middle, and her end. And why I say her end is because she did move on to other things besides music. She still did music, but she moved on to other things in life as well. So we'll tackle all of those things. And without holding you any further, let's get right into Adina Howard. Adina Howard, born November 14th, 1974 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The 90s produced not only one of the greatest decades of R&B music, but also some of the most memorable artists our generation has ever seen, including Grand Rapids, Michigan native, international multi-platinum award-winning R&B icon, Adina Howard. In 1995, a milestone year for Adina, signed to Macadon East West Records. She struck certified gold and platinum with her No Holds Barred debut album, Do You Wanna Ride, and her #2 Billboard Hot 100 single, Freak Like Me. That year, Adina Howard became a global household name. Howard is revered as one of the early pioneers of sexual expressionism for women of color. Her mega hits, Freak Like Me and T-Shirt and Panties, were more than just chart-topping singles. They were anthems for the sexually liberated. Ridiculed for her bold lyrics and provocative image. Though she was ahead of her time, she would not be deterred from being comfortable with her stance. If a man can do it, she can too. Howard helped pave the way for future urban female recording artists to embrace their sensual side and creatively express it through their artistry freely. In 1996, she collaborated with Warren G for the Police Story 3 Super Cop soundtrack with the single What's Love Got to Do With It, featuring a sample from Tina Turner's hit. The single was another hit for Adina, peaking at #2 on the UK charts. While working on her second album, Howard worked with actor-comedian Jamie Foxx on a provocatively titled song, T-Shirt and Panties. Being the risk-taker that she is, Adina wanted to lead with the Rousing song as her first single from her forthcoming album, Welcome to Fantasy Island. But it was too racy for radio and the label shied away from promoting it. However, it found a home on the soundtrack to the film, Woo, featuring Jada Pinkett Smith, and eventually was included on her third album, The Second Coming. It became an R&B classic in the years following, becoming one of Adina's signature songs to perform. In 1997, she prepared for the release of her sophomore album, Welcome to Fantasy Island. It garnered critical praise and a moderate hit with the lead single, Freak and You Know It. But it was shelved by Electric Records in 1997 due to conflict of interest. The album was leaked to the internet a few years later, and promotional copies sold for hundreds of dollars on eBay. In 2004, Adina's third studio album, The Second Coming, was released. Hampered by label woes, the success of the album was left to fate. Then, in 2007, her fourth studio album, Private Show, was finally released after multiple delays. Due to the limited budget, the label had to work with Private Show didn't receive the push it needed to garner attention. In January 2010, Adina enrolled in culinary school, temporarily putting her singing career on hold to pursue her passion for cooking. While she was working towards her associate's degree in culinary arts, she worked as a line cook at a AAA4 Diamond Resort in Chandler, Arizona. In August 2011, Adina officially added another title to her belt, Chef. Resuming her singing career in 2013, Adina released her new single, Switch, which was to be the lead single off her fifth studio album, The Switch Up. It received positive reviews and won Best Dance Club Single of the Year at the 2013 UB Honors, which was voted on by the public. Aside from singing and songwriting, Adena has appeared in independent films such as Casanova Demise, Poke the Sleeping Bear, winner of Best Short 2008 Solstice Film Festival, and The Relaxer, as well as appeared in the stage plays Man of God, Do You Trust Your Best Friend, and the stage reading of For All My Girls. With all she has accomplished and continues to set out to achieve, Adena continues to find time to hit the studio and create future classics. In August 2015, she independently released the upbeat single Bad For Me. This contemporary urban doo-wop inspired ditty was a departure from what made her a household name. Shout out to Adina Howard. She was definitely ahead of her time. I think she is a phenomenal woman and we can learn a lot from her. Not only was her lyrics and whatnot racy and provocative, she was out way before her time. If an Adina Howard came out in today's world, she would be on top of the world. She would be a #1 recording artist. But instead, she came out to open doors. A lot of artists come out and open doors for other people to walk through, and sometimes they open doors for them to walk through. You know, it's like Little Kim. She opened up certain doors, but Little Kim walked through those doors. She wasn't held back in her career. Unfortunately, Adina Howard was, and instead of her giving up, she kept pushing, and even when the pushing wasn't working, she decided to sidestep and jump into another career, which she became extremely successful at, which was becoming a chef, majoring in culinary arts. So shout out to her for that. She had a plan B. Instead of giving up, she just pushed a little bit harder, and I think that that's why she's still successful today. So shout out to her. We love Adina Howard. She's had some amazing music. She's extremely talented, beautiful woman, beautiful body, beautiful voice. It's sad that she was held back, and I keep saying that Adina was held back, but I have not explained it. So let's get into why Adina Howard was shelved. If you are a fan of 90s music, then you know that Adina Howard was the embodiment of sexuality. From Little Kim to Foxy Brown, the Freak Like Me singer was an influence on women who were beginning to open up about their sexuality and desires. So what happened to the rising star who could belt out explicit lyrics like a choir diva? Well, during an episode of Unsung that focused on the career of the t-shirt singer, she said that she had a few choice words for her boss, Sylvia, a label executive at Atlantic Records. According to Adina, she began dating Wanya Morris, the lead singer of Boyz II Men, who happened to be in a relationship with the platinum singing label mate, Brandy. Adina's quote, "Two young ladies, a lot of their egos get in the way, and we're kind of going through it about a guy," Adina recalls in that episode. When the voluptuous love affair reached the ears of Sylvia, she spoke with Adina and told her to focus more on her career and let the relationship with Wanya go. At the time, radio gospel queen Wendy Williams caught wind that there was a scandal between Adina, Brandy, and the cheating Wanya, and she gave Adina a call. Adina opened up like she normally would, said producer Billy Moss, except she has some choice words in there for Sylvia and Brandy. That pissed Sylvia off. She was on fire. Roget Romain, owner of Macadon Records, put it perfectly when he said, "You have two queens and one castle, and the one that writes the checks is going to win." As a result, the release date for her second album was delayed indefinitely. Adina's quote, "I said something very inappropriate about the head of the label and she pulled up the emergency brake and shut down everything," Adina remembers. And rightfully so, because when you have the power to do that and you don't like what people are saying about you, yeah. So, if you didn't know, Brandy and Wanya were dating back in the day. That's no secret. With them dating, they had collaborations. They were on the same label. They toured. They saw a lot of each other. So with them seeing a lot of each other, the heart grows fond. So Brandy and Wanya were in a relationship. During that relationship, Adina Howard came out. With Adina Howard coming out, she started dating Wanya. She bumped into him. They started talking, and it kind of just went from there. The only problem with that is that he was already in a relationship with Brandy. But here's what I think that Adina is leaving out. The reason she had choice words for Brandy and for the owner of the label or the executive of the label is because Brandy and Wanye's relationship was not real. Brandy and Wanye were years apart. He was much older than Brandy and whatnot, and it was more so for a label thing. Adena and Wanye were actually seeing each other, so this wasn't to uphold an image like it was for Brandy and Wanye. It was more so up to uphold an image. For Adena, she actually liked Wanye, and Wanye actually liked Adena. So to us, it makes it seem as if Wanye broke hearts, and whatnot. And that's really not the case, because this was more so of a business arrangement that he had with Brandy, but it doesn't mean that they're still not going to date. So just because I'm dating you on paper does not mean that I'm not going to see other women and soil my royal oats. I'm still going to want to do those things. I'm not like actually with you. But Brandy had real feelings for Wanye. So it was more so real to her. So that's where the energy was coming from, and because the executive had no reason to get inside of it. If there are two people dating the same guy, what does that have to do with you? Who cares? As long as Adena is doing her music, how are you telling her to focus on something that she's focused on? It's not like the scandal was taking over her career. She was doing really good. She had basically a platinum single, already and everything. She's doing great. So I don't feel that was the problem. The problem was Brandy. The problem was Brandy did not like that Adena was publicly out with Wanye, that people publicly knew that there was something going on between Wanye and Adena. Brandy didn't like that. And Brandy was upholding this image. Brandy is the same person that lied about being married when she got pregnant with her daughter. Literally, she lied to the entire world, lied to Oprah. She lied to everybody. And so image is very important to Brandy. So she didn't appreciate that. She didn't like the energy that was coming back to her. Just like, oh, well, girl, you're dumb, for dating Wanye when he's dating Adena. So if you think about it again, think about the song The Boy Is Mine with Brandy and Monica. Do you think that was about them, or do you think that was about Brandy and Adena? If you go back and listen to The Boy Is Mine, I'm sure you'll listen to it with a whole new set of ears if you did not know this story. The Boy Is Mine was written for Brandy. Brandy definitely had collaborations with how the song was written and what was being said within the song. So it's clear that she's talking about her own situation. Back in the day, people thought that Brandy and Monica were fighting over a boy, and that's not true at all. It was Brandy's story with her and Wanye, that she basically had to fight Adena for Wanye type of situation, although she had him allegedly first. So the song The Boy Is Mine is evident. It's about Adina Howard, Brandy, and Wanye. Mekhi Phifer in the video was playing Wanye. If you, once again, think about the song and listen to it with a whole new set of ears knowing this information. But that's all I have on Adena. We love her. I love you all. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next video, I love you all. Bye.